Hi, I'm Dr. Guy Shkolnik, and in this video, I want to show you two examples of how Pat Metheny is breaking the rules of traditional classical harmony in favor of what he needs to say artistically. I'm going to show you two examples from the incredible ballad You from the album Speaking of Now from 2002. So let me take it from the beginning and I'll get to that specific place. So let's look at this place. When we're going from B flat to C over B flat, we usually resolve it by going with the bass a step down. Or this way. Why? Because when we're playing the B flat, we have this interval of octave right here between these two voices. When we're moving to the C, the same two voices are now creating the interval of 9. If we move the B flat over here an octave up, we have this interval of a second, which is a dissonant. If you remember, so if look at the resolution of this second is by going a step down, right, in the bass. So if we are going by the rules of classical harmony, you should have been something like that. But instead of going from A minor 7 to D7, he's going from D minor 7 to G7 over D. You know, basically it's the same intention, but he's replacing the old German classical way with a softer, maybe even more fragile version of the same thing. And I'm saying more fragile because the A minor compared to the A minor, which is the result of resolving the dissonance, the D minor 7, we're like, where's the bass? If we're creating the expectation to move down, but instead at the last moment we're not moving down, we're doing the skip to D, so we kind of feel bassless, groundless. And by the way, Pat Metheny has gone a lot with the classical way, and a good example is Adagia from Kin. I think it is pronounced Adagia. Very classical sounding. Here. So we had D over C, and here's the dissonance. And the classical resolution. And it keeps going. Again to this A over G. Here's the classical resolution. One of the most characteristic sounds of U is the use of second inversion major chords, like C over G or G over D. The origin of this chord in classical music comes from a simple passing tone between two chords. So when I'm saying second inversion chord, major chord, I mean C with a G in the bass. Now the origin of this chord is interesting. If we're moving from F to G, so musicians like using this passing tone, this E over here. What they have been doing is to move this E from this place. They moved it rhythmically so it sounds against the G, like that. So instead of, we're having, believe it or not, this is the origin of this chord. Now, what musicians have been doing is to use the sound of this chord outside of the voice leading context of having to resolve. Instead of just D flat, playing it over A flat in the bass to get this bigger sounding D flat chord instead of traditional way, just playing this way. So we're having the D flat over A flat. I think the old Pat Metheny would have played it maybe simply going from D flat major 7. This is very much the early Pat Metheny. He's saying something like, I want this D flat to be bigger. Like this with the A flat in the bass, and I definitely want this C minor 7 here. What's happening here is that the descending bass create an expectation maybe to go over here as a passing tone between these two tones, but instead it goes to, and you know, someone will have to pay the price, and it's not going to be this chord, it's not going to be the destination C minor, it's going to be the aesthetics of the classical music that tells us that if you go this way, you have to go this way. I personally know some harmony teachers that would not approve of such a use of the second inversion chords. But you know, Pat Metheny is an artist, and again, he does what the music needs. It might be less elegant than going, yet it is unquestionably more artistically truthful for this moment in the music. When we listen to you, we know that we're hearing something of high emotional intensity. And I imagine it as a solid material that passed a certain temperature starts to change in shape. So no more phrases of 8 bars, no more chords having to resolve in a certain way. And as an audience, musicians and non-musicians alike, we feel that heat. We know that we're listening to something special.